I find that some of the thinking, when you see them,
Yeah.
it is easy to put it down. But some of them is like really you can't help yourself, and then you try everything, and then you still, I don't know, like how do you deal with that kind of stuff?
My experience with practicing, and it seems to be true with a lot of people, is when you first start, they talk about a mass of thought that we're not aware of. And to me, it's like a ball of ice. And when you start practicing, it's like you light a little fire underneath, and right away something melts. And it's like, oh, I feel a little better, And then for a while you do it, yeah, your legs hurt and everything. People would always complain at the end of a 3-day retreat, people would say things like, oh, it was so hard, I felt so terrible, I feel so good now. One of our monks from Czech Republic said communism disappeared when he was 14, and suddenly you could get books and information about everything, and religion was possible again. So he said he went to this church, and he had a great time, and everybody was very nice, and he went home a few days later, and he felt just as bad as ever. And then his brother talked him into Musangsa, some of you knew him. He's not in Korea anymore. And his brother talked him into going to a Zen retreat. And he said he was sitting there for 3 days. He was totally miserable. His body hurt. His mind was a mess. And he looked around and thought, I have food, I have water, I have company. In fact, they sat me right in front of a window so I can just look out at the field and the trees, and I'm miserable. And afterwards, he felt really good. It's like a cleaning of some kind, So don't check how you feel. Just try. And even Musangsa, it was so interesting to see how well he knew himself. I'm sure he learned all kinds of things, but he was willing, even though he had this great enlightenment, to go into situations and cultures that he wasn't familiar with, and was open to learning from them. And then, because he had realized something very powerfully, once he understood somebody, he knew how to teach them. And then he could connect and help. And even if they weren't his student, I saw the way he related to different people. He came and had dinner at my parents' house when I'd been practicing for 1 year. It was sort of scary, but it turned out to be great. And after that, my parents didn't worry much what I was doing, because they saw, oh, this guy is real. He's not like stealing our son. He's got something for real. Yeah. But something this, any kind of desire, so to speak, is a mistake. But then somebody asked him about bodhisattvas, and he said, yeah, bodhisattva has bodhisattva desire, big desire for all beings. But if you attach to it, that's also a problem. But if you're very aware of it, then anytime I want to help you, anytime you notice that, you put it down. So you have to use the tools of practice when you see, one thought you can drop easily, one emotion, but other you can't. Hard training. You have to practice hard. And we have all these ways and techniques to do it. All these teachings, put it down, don't make anything, only go straight, don't, no. Just do it, okay? They're all pointing to the same thing, but we have to learn how to do it, and Musangsa would use the words that might help you. Just like when you're in Malaysia, talking to your family and you want water, what do you say? Sway? Something like that. How do you say water in Chinese? Sway. Yeah, but if you're talking to a Malay person, you go, I, right? I. If you're in Spain, agua. If you're in English country, water. They're all pointing to the same thing, just different words. So same thing, only go straight, don't know, have a big question, just do it, put it all down, don't make anything. They all point to the same thing. We have to learn how to do that inside with our mind. And then when you can, you try to do it in every realm of your life, in every moment. and you just use different techniques. So when you start, a little bit melts and it's satisfying. And in my experience, for a couple years, it's hard, but you're kind of melding the outside. But then, it doesn't matter whether you're a layperson or a sanim. If you're practicing seriously, at some point you hit the karma, the thought mass that's more hard, that's more strongly frozen, and got to turn the flame up. And then that melts too.